26, a senseless tragedy occurred in Edmond, Oklahoma. One night, Gary Larson.
Bro, what was up with dudes back in like the 80s and 70s and 90s just being weird, bro? Like, y'all looking through girls' windows, looking at them change and get in the shower and stuff, bro. What is y'all problems, bro? Impossible cold cases solved by accident.
A construction crew was digging when they accidentally solved a kidnapping. A notorious fugitive was caught because he had car problems on the wrong road. A killer stayed hidden for 17 years until an incident at Walmart changed everything. These are impossible cold cases.
It's always crazy to like when cases get solved by just like the smallest thing ever. Like you have like a wanted murderer on the run for like 6+ years or something like that, and then they just happen to get pulled over by the cops for like having expired tags or their windows are too tinted or something like that, bro. Like it's always just something stupid that could have been avoided, bro. And it's always, that's a good thing because like they obviously get caught in the end, but like it's always just something stupid and small that just brings them all down.
The goal, guys, is 2.5 million subscribers by the end of 2026, and it is crazy.
Sub up to this dude, bro. Sub up to this dude, bro. Get him 2.5 mil, bro. Deadass.
The wrong word that cost her freedom. When police first looked into this case, they thought they were wasting their time because the crime didn't look like a crime. It looked like a normal family tragedy. Then someone accidentally said the wrong word, and suddenly police realized they might be hunting a serial killer. The story began.
Whoa, bro! Imagine like you're living a normal life with your family and stuff, bro. And like, if something like this happens, like a tragedy in the family, you're thinking nothing of it. And then it turns out that the dad of the family or something like that happens to be a serial killer, bro. Imagine like, nah, bro.
With a husband and wife. The wife was named Stacy. Her husband was named Michael. The couple had like 2 daughters, but behind closed doors, the marriage was falling apart. Michael struggled with substances and alcohol. No matter how hard he tried, he could not stop. Over time, the relationship grew cold and distant. They barely spent time together. Eventually, they decided to get divorced. But before the separation became official, tragedy struck. Michael suddenly passed away. He was only 38. Stacy claimed she found him lifeless inside.
My fault to Michael, bro. Nah, I didn't know it was Stacy that was doing all this. Scratch what I just said 30 seconds ago, bro. My fault.
To a hospital where a doctor determined that Michael passed away from a heart attack. But the idea of a healthy 38-year-old man having a heart attack didn't make sense to his friends and family, especially Michael's sister, Rosie. Rosie wanted an autopsy done on her late brother's body, but Stacy refused.
Stacy, are you going to have an autopsy? She looked at me and she says, Rosie, you know he didn't like being cut up in surgery and everything like that. She says no.
Stacy pushed hard to stop the autopsy, and in the end, she got her way.
Obvious,
no autopsy was performed. At the time,
I thought autopsies were like just normal procedure that was required after you died to like figure out the cause of your death. I didn't know I never knew that you could like decline to have an autopsy. I genuinely thought like you die, like the people come pick you up, they put you in the bag and stuff, they take you to like the examination office and stuff, and then they examine your body. The autopsy people come and do their autopsy reports, draw your body and stuff like that. I thought that was all like required, bro. Like maybe it is, and I'm just hearing this wrong, but I don't even know. I did not know you could like say no to an autopsy.
To suspect foul play, so there was no criminal investigation. Soon after, Stacy collected a $55,000 payout from Michael's life insurance policy. Then she moved on. I swear,
like the police force, bro. These investigators are just like gotta be the worst people at their jobs of all time, bro. So you're telling me you ain't put 2 and 2 together when first they had problems with their marriage and they got divorced or whatever. He's 38 and healthy and just randomly has a heart attack. She refuses and pushes not to do an autopsy. That's suspicious right there in itself. And then she collects $55K after that, bro. Like, come on, bro. That's
another tragedy was already waiting
she
around the
did
corner.
it
About a year later, Stacy met a man named David Castor. The two got married in August 2003, but the new family had problems from the start. Remember, Stacy had 2 daughters from her previous marriage. David did not want to be a father figure to Stacy's kids.
he said he didn't want to be our father and he didn't want any part of being a father. He already had his kids and he didn't want more.
Obviously, Stacy didn't like that. Then 2 years into their marriage, another tragedy occurred. In August 2005, Stacy called 911 in panic. She told them her husband David locked himself inside their bedroom and refused to come out.
I'm just getting a little concerned because I haven't talked to him since 5 o'clock.
If y'all don't put two and two together after this
Police
murder
arrived
and
soon after.
stuff,
They
bro, you
forced
guys
the
are the
bedroom
worst.
door open. Inside, they found David lifeless. Then investigators noticed something strange under the bed. It was a bottle of antifreeze.
There was a bottle of antifreeze that was on its side with the top off.
Antifreeze is a toxic chemical normally used in vehicles. Police also found 2 glasses on the nightstand. One contained juice in it. The other glass had antifreeze. The medical examiner later confirmed that David had antifreeze in his system. It was pretty obvious what happened, but the police still questioned Stacy about the glasses. Stacy explained that she poured David a glass of cranberry juice before he locked himself inside. That accounted for 1 glass, but she claimed she had nothing to do with the antifreeze in the bedroom. Based on her story, it seemed like David did it to himself. And at the time, investigators could not prove otherwise.
You guys are slow! What is your... Put 2 and 2 together. Look into her. Find out that she had another husband that died from a heart attack. I know antifreeze deaths, like when you die from antifreeze, it's like the same, like, it looks the same as a heart attack. So all they had to do was dig into her a little bit, do some little investigations, realize that she had another husband 5 years ago pass away from a heart attack, and then realize that she didn't want an autopsy done. Boom. Like, there's no, bro. I genuinely believe I could be an investigator, bro, because it cannot be. Like, I get it's hard to find evidence, but it's right in front of your faces, bro. It's right there.
Stacy inherited everything from her deceased husband. The case looked closed, but one detective couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. His name was Detective Spinelli, and he had doubts about Stacy's story.
My gut was telling me that there was something more going on with this. It just wasn't right.
Spinelli pulled the file on Stacy's first husband, Michael. He compared it with David's case, and he noticed disturbing similarities. Both men passed away suddenly. Both were buried side by side in the same cemetery. Spinelli suspected that Michael passed away from the same chemical as David. There was only one way to know for sure.
That's to dig him up, to exhume the body. But this would be
this guy is, that's what I'm saying. This guy, I literally just said everything he did himself. Like, it genuinely cannot be that hard. Like, you guys just have no common sense.
Controversial.
Michael's remains were dug up and tested. Investigators found traces of antifreeze in his system.
Y'all better, I'm gonna be an investigator one day, bro. I'm telling you.
Proved both men drank the chemical. It didn't prove Stacy gave it to them. The detective needed concrete proof, so he brought Stacy in for questioning. During the interview, he showed her a picture of the 2 glasses on the nightstand. Then he asked, "Do you remember which glass it was you poured the cranberry juice in?" Stacy looked at the photo, and then she made a mistake. She said, "Well, I poured the antifreeze. I mean, the cranberry juice." She tried to correct herself immediately, but it was too late.
You fucking idiot. Oh my god, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. That's what she get, bro. She better get life in prison, bro. R.I.P. to her 2 husbands. They didn't deserve that for real, bro. Like, my man, the first dude was literally just trying to live his life and move on, bro. And the second dude literally just didn't want kids anymore. Like, and you don't gotta kill him for that, bro. R.I.P. to them 2, bro. Stacy, you deserve to rot in prison, bro.
One accidental word changed everything.
Those of us that were watching the interview went, oh my God. There was a Freudian slip that she couldn't control.
Stacy insisted it was just a slip of the tongue. She accused the detective of trying to frame her and stop the interview. At that point, the pressure was closing in. Stacy was desperate to prove her innocence, so she made one final desperate move. Stacy decided to blame everything.
People that also, when they get in the interrogation office, bro, they slip up once, and the second the detective, it's the second they check him for messing up what they said, they instantly stop. I want a lawyer. I want. That's how you know they're guilty, bro. Because if an innocent person accidentally slipped up and they got called out for it, they would genuinely they'd be explaining themselves, bro. They could easily get them out of it. But these people, they just, I want a lawyer. I don't want to talk to you anymore. Bro, it's obvious.
Thing on her own daughter, Ashley. A few days later, she slipped sleeping pills into Ashley's drink. The pills were meant to end her life. After Ashley passed out, Stacy placed a typed confession letter beside her.
In the letter, Ashley confesses to the murders of David Castor and Michael Wallace, her own father, giving intricate details as to how she went about poisoning them.
Then Stacy called 911. She told police she found her daughter unconscious. She also said Ashley left a note confessing to both crimes. But Stacy's plan failed. Ashley survived, and she told police that she never wrote that letter confessing to the crimes. Since the letter was typed,
bro, even if Ashley survived, bro, that is still obviously not her that wrote that out. Like, why would Ashley, so all the pressure's on Stacy. All the pressure's on Stacy, right? So if all the pressure's on Stacy, and Stacy's trying to frame Ashley for doing it, why would Ashley write out a note and try to take her life when none of the pressure is on her, when nobody expects her of doing anything? That doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, if she was really guilty and had no pressure on her, nobody's expected her, she's just staying quiet. She's not typing up a confession. She's not going to try to kill herself. She's staying quiet, staying out the light, bro. She's not coming out. No, she's not doing any of that.
Stacy's computer, and they found drafts of the confession letter. The timestamps showed the letter was written while Ashley was away at school. The evidence was overwhelming. Stacy was arrested. In 2009, she was found guilty of murdering both husbands and attempting to end her daughter. She was sentenced to over 51 years in prison, and who talked himself into jail. When Jonelle Matthews was kidnapped, the case became national news. Even the president mentioned it in a speech.
5 days before Christmas, Jonelle disappeared from her home.
But all 35 years, no one knew where Jonelle was. Then a construction crew made a random discovery that unraveled the mystery. Jonelle Matthews vanished in 1984. She was only 12. She lived with her family in Greeley, Colorado. One night, her father came home and found the house empty.
Did it occur to you that maybe she had run away?
No, because I know my daughter well enough.
He called the police. Officers searched the house, but they found no signs of a struggle. But they found a clue outside in the snow.
The only
physical
evidence.
What's the point of like these, like, I'm not saying you should like kidnap and murder people and commit crimes and stuff like that, but bro, what did the children do to you, bro? Like, if she's 12 years old, what could she have done to you, bro? Like, there's no reason to do that. Only reason and motive you have is just because you felt like it and that you're a weirdo. Like, there's genuinely no other point to do that, bro.
Footprints like, in the fresh snow.
At least, like, when adults commit crimes on adults, I'm not saying it's right again, but, like, at least there's a motive. At least there's, like, a reason behind it. At least they have, like, they're not just doing it just to do it, you know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't do it regardless, but I don't know, bro. Y'all get what I'm trying to say, though.
Whoever did it tried to rake their footprints.
Someone walked around the house and used a garden rake to hide their tracks. Police kept the rake detail a secret. They hoped to use it to identify the person responsible later. Meanwhile, Jonelle's photo was printed on milk cartons across the country. But even with national attention, investigators still had no leads. The case went cold. Then one man claimed he might know something. His name was Steve Pankey.
A month after Jonelle's disappearance, Pankey suddenly inserted himself directly into the middle of this case.
But the more Pankey talked, the stranger his story became. And instead of looking helpful, he started looking suspicious. Around the time Jonelle disappeared, Steve Pankey lived just a few miles from her home.
So you're telling me this guy did it? Okay, so what happened was this guy kidnapped her, did all that stuff to her. RIP to Jonelle, bro. So he kidnapped her, did all that stuff, right? And then bro tried to get some publicity from it. So he's gonna start telling not like big details, but like small details of what could have happened that only like a specific person would know. And if a specific, only people that would know like these details he's telling is the person that did it and Jonelle. Those are the only two people that would know. So if he's talking, he's telling all these stories, all these things will happen and stuff like that, that only the kidnapper and the little girl would know. Obviously, they're gonna look at you like you're suspicious, bro. Like, I never get why people do this, bro. Like, if you're gonna commit a crime, don't brag about it. Like, don't commit crimes regardless, but if you're gonna do it, don't brag about it, bro. Just be quiet.
Out to investigators.
I contacted the Fort Collins FBI office
and volunteered some information about Janelle's disappearance.
But his reason for coming forward was strange. Pankey said he was worried someone might try to frame him.
He shared the information with the FBI, trying to implicate him in Janelle.
Let's just frame the guy that lives 10 minutes away let's just frame the random dude that lives 10 minutes away. You, of all people, is going to get framed. Not the neighbor. Not the dude across the street. Not a weird friend of the dad that comes in and goes. But you that lives 10 minutes away that has... Come on, bro.
Story led nowhere. Years passed, and still nobody knew where Jonelle was. In 1994, 10 years after she disappeared, Jonelle was officially declared deceased. 10 years later, in July 2019, an oil crew was digging a pipeline in a remote field. Their equipment struck human remains buried in the ground. Tests later confirmed the remains belonged to Jonelle Matthews, and the discovery happened completely by accident.
Had it been just a little higher, a half a foot deeper, no one would have ever seen her. Is divine intervention, that's all it is.
But now investigators had a new question. Who was responsible? Detectives reopened the old case files. They reviewed witness statements and rebuilt their list of suspects. One name stood out, Steve Pankey. After Jonelle's remains were found, detectives interviewed Steve Pankey's ex-wife. She told them that Pankey acted strangely after Jonelle disappeared. According to her, Pankey forced their family to leave town 2 days after the kidnapping. During the drive, he made her scan radio stations for news about the missing girl. He also stopped to buy newspapers so he could follow the case. Then she remembered something even stranger. Years earlier, she found a piece of paper Pankey wrote.
His handwriting on this piece of legal paper was, "Snow outside the Matthews house was raked."
Police were...
So hold on, the wife knew all of this stuff? The wife knew about all this stuff? Because he'd said, like, a few years after it happened, the wife found the piece of paper. The wife was in the car when he was telling her to do suspicious things and stuff like that. But you're telling me when he gets interviewed the first time by the police, you just decide to not say anything? You decide to just keep your mouth shut for 30 years? What is...
Stunned.
You're
How
just
did
as
Pankey
guilty.
know the kidnapper raked the snow to cover his footprints?
Prosecutors say only the Matthews family, investigators, and presumably the killer knew about them. But apparently Pankey knew.
Then the ex-wife shared one more disturbing memory. Years after Jonelle vanished, Pankey's own son passed away. At the funeral, she claimed Pankey made a shocking comment. "I hope God didn't allow this to happen because of Jonelle Matthews." That sounded like someone with a guilty conscience. The police had enough evidence. Pankey was arrested. After a long trial, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. The case of the Walmart ghost. A man committed a crime and escaped justice for years. Police had nothing on him. They didn't even know he was connected to the case. For 17 years, he lived a quiet life. Then one day, he walked into a police station and confessed. And he did it because he accidentally received a message meant for someone else. The crime happened in Bullhead City, Arizona. In 1997, a 38-year-old woman went missing. 5 days later, her body was found near the Colorado River. It was clear someone ended her life. Investigators questioned people in the area, but they found very little evidence. After months with no real leads, the case went cold. Meanwhile, a man named Matthew Gibsons quietly left Arizona. Matthew moved to North Carolina. There, he stayed out of trouble. He never even got a parking ticket. For 17 years, police had no idea he was connected to the case. Then Matthew accidentally put the spotlight on himself. In early 2014, Matthew started receiving strange messages on his phone. They were from his local Walmart. Each message said the same thing. Walmart had a prescription ready for a woman named Anita Townshed. Matthew didn't know anyone named Anita Townshed. At first, it seemed like a simple mistake, but then he searched the name online. What he found terrified him.
he had found
Don't tell me that's her actual name.
That Anita Townshend had been murdered.
He wondered why he was receiving text messages meant for a murder victim. The Walmart messages kept coming, each one telling Anita Townshend to pick up her prescription. Matthew never responded. Soon, Walmart started sending voicemails about the prescription. Matthew became paranoid. There was one reason the messages scared him so much. Matthew was the killer. When Matthew committed the crime in 1997, he didn't know the name of the woman he ended. So
No way!
Anita Townshend, he convinced himself she must have been the victim. Then something even stranger happened. Matthew received a Walmart advertisement in his mail. To anyone, it would look like junk mail, but to Matthew, it felt connected. The text messages were from Walmart, the voicemails were from Walmart, and now the mail was from Walmart too. His paranoia led him to the conclusion that someone knew about the 17-year-old murder and was playing mind games.
He thought someone that was out to put a hit on him was
17 years ago.
He was that paranoid.
The fear completely took over, so Matthew decided to solve the problem once and for all. In June 2014, Matthew barged into a police station. Then he started confessing before anyone even questioned him.
Hello? I committed a murder
Committed a murder?
many years ago. It happened in Bullhead City.
The detective listened carefully. Then she contacted Bullhead City Police. She needed to know if Matthew's story matched any unsolved case from 1997. It did. Police questioned Matthew again. This time he gave them more details. He said he met the woman on the night of the crime. He brought her back to his home. Then the two got into an argument. It turned violent.
I wanted her to leave her name.
I don't... Why is it hard for people to just, like, when you get into an argument, just walk away, bro. Just calm down. Just take your mind off of it. Just don't even think about it. Literally, bro, just walk away. Just calm down. Just put your ego aside. Be the bigger person and just be like, you know what? I'm wrong. You're right. Let's just calm down. Let's just put all this behind us and let's just move on. Why is that so hard for people to do? It genuinely isn't, bro.
So I was gonna knock her out and put her outside. Okay.
Matthew also told police about the strange messages he was getting from Walmart. He believed the woman he ended was named Anita Townshend. That was when officers told him the truth. Anita Townshend was not Matthew's victim. In fact, Anita had nothing to do with the case. Police weren't even sure if Anita was a real person.
We don't know if Anita Townshend ever existed. We looked. We weren't able to find anyone by that name.
So why was her name in the Walmart?
Man, this dude just turned himself in for no reason. Hey, W, bro, W. I'm happy he got these bot messages, bro, because if he didn't, he would have never been brought to justice and never been brought down, bro. Like, he needs to be brought down, but, bro, that's actually hilarious that this person didn't even exist.
Messages. According to one report, it was just a mix-up. The prescription alerts were meant for someone else. Police arrested Matthew. He pleaded guilty. And after 17 years of freedom, he was sentenced to 10 years in prison.
That's it?
The man, Cop Hunter. A criminal who attacks a police officer gets hunted down by practically the whole police force. But one man took a police officer's life and escaped. He hid for years, and then he was exposed by the one person he felt safest around. The crime happened in Atlanta in 1971. 27-year-old police officer.
If you were getting caught doing crimes in like the 70s and 60s and 50s and years before that, bro, you're just the worst criminal of all time, bro. Because all you have to do is, like, commit crimes at dark when no one's looking. The technology to find people sucks. There's no fingerprinting, or there probably is fingerprinting, but it sucks. There's no cameras. They used lie detector tests as like main evidence sources. In also, the only other evidence they have is people that saw you or not. And if no one sees you, you could just be like, nah, that wasn't me, bro. You got the wrong guy. All right, peace out. I'll catch y'all later. Like, that's all you have to do.
Officer James Green was working the night shift. He was at a gas station when two men jumped him. The men didn't know James personally. They were members of a group with radical beliefs, and some members of that group believed in using violence against the police. The two men attacked the officer, stole his badge and weapon, and ran. Officer Green didn't survive. When other police officers heard what happened, they were furious. Dozens of officers hit the streets searching for the attackers. During the search, they found a younger member of the same group named Samuel Cooper. Samuel admitted he knew the attackers. He gave the police their names: Twyman Myers.
Oh, you L-mans, bro. What's up with you?
Their case, but they were too late. But before the two attackers could be arrested, they left Atlanta. But the police didn't give up. They were determined to find the man who murdered their colleague, no matter how long it took. The two fugitives, Twyman and Freddie, tried to keep a low profile. But life on the run wasn't easy. After a few years, Twyman slipped up, and he lost his life during a shootout with the police. But the second man, Freddie Hilton, disappeared. He moved to New York and changed his name to Kamau. And for the next 30 years, investigators had no idea where he was. Freddie built a new life under his fake name. He found a steady job at a phone company. Later, he got a girlfriend. Then he moved in with her and her daughter. But
bro, I've always found it crazy with these type of stories, bro. When these people get away for such a long time and they turn their lives around, get married, have kids and stuff like that, and then randomly one day the police will come knocking at their door and be like, "Yeah, your husband and your dad's a murderer, by the way. We gotta take him to prison." And you're just like, "What?" You're just sitting there just like...
weren't one big happy family. Freddie secretly acted inappropriately with the daughter. Eventually, the girl told her mother...
Yeah, no, bro. Nope. Hell no. Okay, bro. The murder, that was bad, but this is, come on, how you, I can't even like explain. Oh my, no. They need to you do not deserve to be on this planet anymore, bro. You need to be shipped to outer space outside the rocket ship, all right? They need to tie you to the outside of the ship, blast you off to Mars, bro. Get this man out of the solar system. Get this man out the galaxy, bro. No, hell no. Bro. Hey. Bro. If y'all watch Why So Salah, bro, that's my GOAT, by the way. Shout out to Salah, bro. Bro, he always says in his videos, with people like this, bro, they need to bring back public execution, bro. We need to bring back the old medieval executions, bro. They need to stick some pipes up this man, bro. They need to rip him limb by limb, bro. They need to rip him limb. Start with his balls. Start with both of his testicles. Get his meat stick. Get his butt cheeks. Get his toes. Get his fingers. Get his lips. Get his nose. Get all that, bro. Cut him up piece by piece, bro. Because you do not deserve to just sit in prison like a normal person. No. No.
What was happening? The mom immediately sought help.
In 2001, a woman and her daughter entered the 69th precinct in Brooklyn, New York, looking to talk to a cop.
The woman reported Freddie to the officers. He was arrested. Remember, Freddie was using a fake name, Kamau, so investigators ran a background check on that name. The computer showed no criminal history. In fact, he appeared to be an upstanding citizen. But during the arrest, officers found an illegal weapon on him. Investigators interrogated him about the weapon. And during the questioning, he finally admitted the truth.
He told me that his real name was Freddie Hilton.
The moment he said that name, the case changed completely. Detectives typed the name of Freddie Hilton into the national database. An alert popped up. He was wanted by the Atlanta Police Department for the attack on Officer James. New York officers informed Atlanta that he was in custody, but 30 years had passed since the crime. So when Atlanta detectives set out to find more evidence to put Freddie behind bars.
My goals were to meet and find ex-Black Liberation Army members and interview them to see if they could recall and back up some of the story that I had about Freddie Hilton.
He tracked down 3 of Freddie's old group members. All 3 confirmed Freddie was the attacker.
The BLA statements are consistent and detailed enough to support a charge of...
After decades on the run, Freddie was sent back to Atlanta. In 2003, he was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison.
Bro, I remember this one story. I know this is like, cause like seeing the last guy's picture reminded me of this one story I saw like a long time ago on the TV. It was like this guy. It was this guy. I think he was either like living with his sister or he was like really close with his sister. Like he would go to her house a lot, help her out and stuff like that. And it was, I'm pretty sure it was in New York or something like that. I don't remember it fully, but I know it was a man and his sister. And the dude killed his sister up. Like I don't remember the motive, but I just remember he killed his sister. Or it was either his sister or his mom. I don't remember. It was one of those two. Either his sister or his mom. And then bro went on the run for like 17 years or something like that. And then he finally got caught in like his backyard. Let me know if y'all know what story I'm talking about, bro. Please, cause like I saw it. It was a couple years ago, bro. I just haven't been able to see that story or hear about it since.
The DNA test that solved a cold case. In 2024, a 23-year-old woman revealed a family secret on TikTok.
Get ready with me while I tell you about how an Ancestry DNA kit is putting my grandma in prison.
Her grandma was connected to a cold case.
Oh, thank God. Oh, I thought. Oh my God. I thought he was about to say she got murdered.
For 25 years, police had no idea who committed the crime. Then, a random DNA test accidentally gave police the answer. The mystery began in the summer of 1997 in Michigan. Workers at the Garnett Lake campground were cleaning an outdoor toilet. As they pumped out the waste, their suction machine suddenly stopped working. Something inside was blocking it. The workers opened the toilet to see what was stuck inside. They realized it was the remains of a newborn. Police rushed to the campground.
What?
This was a serious crime, but officers had no leads. Nobody knew who the baby was or who left her there.
If you're committing crimes against babies too, bro, yep. You get up out of here, yo. Like, genuinely, bro, committing children and committing crimes to babies and stuff like that, bro, those gotta be the two worst crimes, bro. Cause like, even the worst of the worst, bro, you got your murderers, you got your people that assault people, you got, you know, your bank robbers, you got all these terrible people, right? But they all these people all share the same thing. They all draw the line at child crimes, bro. That's just the worst. That's genuinely like the worst, most evil thing you can do in your life, bro. If you do something like that, bro, just go away, bro. Genuinely. Like I said, they need to strap you to the outside of a rocket. They need to strap you to the outside of a plane, bro, while it's flying at 600 miles per hour, bro. They need to do anything to just get rid of you, bro. They need to put you in, like, lay you out on the floor and have like an elephant stampede just run over you, bro. Just do all that stuff, bro, because you did not deserve to live and have a functioning, recognizable body, bro. I genuinely
Local
believe
community
that.
Was
like
devastated.
that might sound bad or like might sound like I got like something wrong with sick in my head, but bro, these people got to go, bro. Y'all gotta go. Y'all gotta go.
To honor the baby.
The close-knit community surrounding the campground named the baby Baby Garnett and gave her a proper burial at the local cemetery.
After the burial, the baby was known as Baby Garnett. People hoped the memorial would make someone come forward, but nobody did. No one admitted anything. No suspect was identified. And as the years passed, the case slowly went cold. 20 years passed. Around 2022, a new sheriff decided to take another look at the case. This time, police had access to advanced DNA technology, so they sent Baby Garnett's DNA to a forensic lab. The goal was to build a family tree from the baby's DNA, and then connect that DNA to a living relative. It worked. The lab found a match. The baby was related to a young woman named Jenna Jaratowski. Jenna's DNA was in the system because she took an ancestry test.
I bought one. It's literally you spit in a tube, you swab your mouth, you send it in, and they give you your ancestry.
Bro, it's literally
result.
crazy how all these cases are being connected by just one small thing that could like changed. Like, imagine she didn't get that DNA test, bro. Imagine she didn't take that ancestry test. Like, then the grandma would have never been found. They would have never found any of this. Imagine, imagine if that lady never mentioned anything about poison, bro. Like, imagine that piece of paper was never found, bro. Like, imagine they buried her body like a half foot deeper, like the guy said they wouldn't have found it. Imagine that, yo. Like, all these just small details just coming together and just solving stuff like this is actually insane, bro. The world
Michigan detective called
crazy.
Jenna's phone.
And he was like, I just want to let you know that I reopened a cold case from like 25 years ago. And he was like, and your DNA is a direct match to the victim of this case.
She asked the detective what case he was talking about.
I was like, what case? And he was like, you've heard of the Baby Garnett case, right? And I was like,
The detective explained they were trying to find out who abandoned the baby, and it was probably someone related to Jenna. Police did a DNA test on Jenna's mom. The results narrowed the search even more.
And ended up finding out that it's not a distant relative to my mom, but a direct relative.
Eventually, police cracked the case. They discovered the baby Garnett's mother was Jenna's grandmother, Nancy. She was the one who abandoned the child at the campground over 20 years ago. In July 2022, police arrested the child at the campground over as Jenna's grandmother, Nancy. She was...
Wait. This don't add up. This doesn't... Hold on. So if Jenna's like 22 in 2022 or whatever, and that means she was born... Let's say she was born in like 2000, right? So let's say her mom was like 32 when she had her, right? That means the grandma's like 50 plus. How was the baby? Was the grandma just giving birth at 60 plus years old? I'm lost, bro.
The one who abandoned the child at the campground over 20 years ago. In July 2022, police arrested the 60-year-old Nancy after questioning.
Okay, so she was 60 in 2022. So when this happened in 97, that's what? It's 25. So she was 45 or 35? Yeah, 35. 35. Hold on. So let's say she was like 35. And then what? How was this lady 20 something in 2022 if the grandma's 35 in 1997? Am I slow or like? Hold on. Let me do some math, bro. I'm genuinely like, because that means the grandma, because the girl on the TikTok obviously has a mom that gave birth to her, if that's her grandma. So if she's 35 in 1997 when this all happened, let's say her daughter was like 14 then, right? 35 minus 14. And so, so she's 14. Let's say she's 14 in 1997. And then, she must have given birth to like 18.
Her investigators pieced together what happened that night. They believe Nancy gave birth at home and that the baby was alive after birth. However, there were complications.
Prosecutors believe she was born at home and died of asphyxiation, but could have been saved with medical intervention.
Detectives believe the baby...
If you don't want a kid, bro, you don't gotta... Just give it up for adoption, bro. Like, you don't gotta get rid of the kid. You don't gotta, like... Come on, but at least let the kid live a life with parents that'll actually treat it with love and care. Like, if you don't want it, you don't want to take care of
help.
You feel
But
like
for some reason,
you don't want that responsibility.
Instead, Nancy drove 20
let
miles
someone
out
else
of
have
town
that
and left
pleasure
the
and
baby at the
responsibility and
campground.
love
But
and care for a
Nancy's
child,
defense
bro.
team disagreed with that version of events. Her lawyers claimed the baby didn't survive the delivery. They also explained why Nancy never called for help.
Her defense argues that Nancy didn't have access to a telephone to call 911.
Both sides told very different stories in court, but they agreed on one key fact. Nancy left baby Garnett at the campground, and that was a crime. Nancy's case is still in court. If found guilty, she could spend the rest of her life behind bars. 2 years after the arrest, Jenna decided to share her family's secret on TikTok. The video got over 15 million views. Of the Peeping Tom. In August 1986, a senseless tragedy occurred in Edmond, Oklahoma. One night, Gary Larson...
Bro, what was up with dudes back in like the 80s and 70s and 90s just being weird, bro? Like, y'all looking through girls' windows, looking at them change and get in the shower and stuff, but what is y'all
home with his girlfriend? Suddenly, he heard strange noises coming from one of the rooms. Gary got out of bed to investigate. He realized that someone cut through a window screen.
Watching them
the screen was cut in an L shape. From top to bottom. Not a big opening.
But the torn window wasn't the real problem. The intruder was still in the house. Before Gary could react, the intruder jumped him. Gary's fiancée saw it all happen. She was also harmed, but survived. After Gary's fiancée saw it all happen. She was also harmed, but survived. After the intruder left, she called the cops, but help arrived too late. Gary didn't survive. Police searched the house for clues, and they found something, a footprint.
You can see the big toe here and the next toes, following toes right in here, and then down this way would be the backside of the foot.
This proved the intruder was barefoot during the attack, but they had no way of knowing who that footprint belonged to. After 4 years of investigating, they found nothing. It became a cold case, and the photo of the footprint just sat in a file for 18 years. In 2004, there was another crime a short distance from the house where Gary lost his life. A boy was in the bathroom when he saw someone staring through the window. He screamed and ran out and told his dad.
So my son was back here to take a shower and, looked up through this window and said he saw a man.
The father was determined to catch the peeping Tom, so he set up a motion detector outside the bathroom window. If anyone came near the window again, the alarm would go off. 4 weeks later, it did. The father ran outside, and there, hiding near the bathroom window, was a barefoot man.
There's this 6'2", 250-pound, 38-year-old man standing back here.
Bro, you're 6'2", what?
6'2".
You're 6'2", 250. You could have been anything, bro. Go to the gym, be a power lifter, bro. You got that big body, bro. You could use that big body for something, bro. Be a power lifter, be a gym bro, be a trainer. You could have done anything positive with your life instead of looking at people in the bathroom and watching people sleep, bro.
250-pound, 38-year-old man standing back here in the bushes looking in the bathroom window.
He grabbed the man and held him until police arrived. The peeping Tom was named Jonathan Graham. At first, police thought he was just a local nuisance who liked looking through windows. But soon they realized Jonathan was far more dangerous. One of the officers involved in the peeping Tom case wanted to see exactly where Jonathan was hiding to look through the window. So he went to the house and walked through the yard. As soon as he looked around, he realized something. He was in the same neighborhood where Gary lost his life.
Mind flashes back to a crime scene 18 years cold. A suspected peeping Tom, a torn screen, bare footprints etched in blood.
He realized this peeping Tom Jonathan was also barefoot when he was caught. The details started lining up. Could Jonathan be the same barefoot intruder that ended Gary 18 years ago? There was one way to find out. Police took impressions of Jonathan's bare feet. They compared it to the footprint of Gary's house.
I was able to locate enough unique identifiers that I could say that this latent impression was made by the same source.
The prints matched.
This is the foot that so many people looked for 18 years.
In 2005, Jonathan pleaded guilty to several crimes, including the one against Gary Larson. The judge sentenced him to life in prison.
Good.
This next chapter is about a fugitive who escaped for 28 years, but was caught because of a routine traffic stop.
What did I say at the beginning of the vid, bro? Nah, bro. What did I say? I told you it's always just somebody getting away for a long time and then they just get pulled over for something stupid and small and then that brings them down. Like, you remember that video from a year ago? With that one girl who had the bodies wrapped up, like the two bodies wrapped up in blankets and stuff and suitcases in the trunk, and her like autistic friend was with her. Y'all know what video I'm talking about, bro. That the cops only found out about that because she was speeding, bro, and like she sped past the cop. They pulled her over and they were like, you have like expired insurance, you have expired tags or something like that, we gotta tow your car, you can't drive it. And then she was like, and then they were like, well, we got to take everything out or we got to just leave everything in there and it'll get searched. So she was cooked as soon as that happened, bro.
The expired license plate. Fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list are usually the hardest to find, but one of them was caught in the simplest way possible. There was no FBI raid or undercover operation. This fugitive was caught because he drove down the wrong road. The fugitive we're talking about was named Muhammad. When he was just a teenager, he ended someone's life. His victim wasn't a stranger. It was Muhammad's close friend, Jaffer Tucker. The crime happened at a train station in Atlanta. Muhammad and Jaffer were standing together on the platform. Then, for reasons that are still unclear, Muhammad attacked him. After the crime, Muhammad ran. He fled Georgia and moved to South Carolina. There, he started a new life under a fake name, Raiz Sekim. For years, the FBI had no idea where he was hiding. They circulated his photo and offered a reward for information leading to his arrest. But the tips never came. 1 year passed, then 10, then 20. Eventually, 28 years went by, and FBI was no closer to catching Muhammad. Then after nearly 3 decades on the run, he ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. On August 16, 2022, a deputy in Georgia was monitoring
30 years later, bro.
for
Still look like
expired license plates.
He
As
looks
cars
like he's
passed
30
by,
years old,
her
bro.
scanner automatically checked each registration. Then one vehicle triggered an alert. The registration was expired, so the deputy pulled the driver over. The entire stop was recorded on the officer's body cam. The driver handed over his identification. The name on the ID was Raiz Sekim. When the deputy checked his records, she found more problems. His license was suspended. His car also had no insurance. That meant she had to arrest him.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to place you in custody today.
The driver begged her to let him go. He claimed he had a family emergency.
Sir, I did not know. I have children, I have a sick uncle, and I run the household.
But the deputy followed procedure. She placed him in handcuffs. At the jail, officers began the normal booking process. They scanned his finger, placed him in handcuffs. At the jail,
I know his heart's just. I know that shit. I know it's just a million beats per minute right now, bro. I know he's just freaking out. I know he's just freaking out, bro.
Officers began the normal booking process. They scanned his fingerprints. That scan revealed his real identity.
A fingerprint check at the jail identified Sekim as Mohammed Bilal Amin, wanted for the fatal shooting of 18-year-old Jaffer Tucker.
The officers were stunned. What started as a routine traffic stop had turned into the arrest of an FBI fugitive. The next day, the headlines read, "Man wanted for nearly 28 years in Atlanta murder finally captured during routine traffic stop." Once officers realized who he was, Muhammad was sent back to Atlanta to face charges. He's currently awaiting trial as of this video. These criminals spent decades looking over their shoulder, waiting for the moment it all fell apart. They built their own prison before they even got caught. So my friends, make sure you build a life that you don't have to hide from. Visual Venture.
Bro, that was a WViv Visual Venture, bro. Make sure y'all check him out. I'm gonna leave him down below. But bro, if y'all know, I'm gonna shout out another dude, bro, cause like, you know, I love these guys that inspire me. Like, I love these guys that inspire me to do what I'm doing right now, right? So shout out to Flight, bro. What does Flight always say in every one of his crime vids, bro? Stop doing that dirt out there, bro. Technology is getting greater, bro. You're only gonna get caught, bro. You're always gonna get caught. You're not getting away, bro. Shout out to Flight for that, bro. W quote, by the way, bro. But dead ass, bro. Y'all need to listen to that, bro. Like, don't commit crimes, bro. It's not worth it, genuinely, bro. Like, if you're out there stealing stuff, you're out there fighting people, you're out there assaulting people, you're out there, you know, just doing all that stuff, bro, and you're selling drugs and stuff like that, bro, and you're just doing this because you just think it can't get better, bro. Trust me, it can, bro, and it will get better, bro. You can always turn your life around and fix it, bro. You can always fix your life in the right way for the good, bro. You can always just fix your flaws, bro. You can always turn your life around and become a model citizen, bro. WViv from Visual Venture, bro. Make sure y'all check him out, like I said, and make sure you always remember hard work pays off, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.